Hello again, welcome in to Hades 2 patch notes breakdown. This is patch number 2 for Hades 2 early access. There's a lot of exciting changes in here. Today I just wanted to kind of read over it, break it down, give you the highlights, and share some of my thoughts so far, what I think of these changes in this patch specifically. First up, we've got some general gameplay changes. You can now encounter up to one additional Olympian each night as in the previous game. I believe this is referring to how in Hades 1 you could have, I believe it was 4 gods in your boon pool normally without trying to force any more. Like you could force, I believe, 5 or 6 in your boon pool if you did a specific thing with your keepsakes. Now in Hades 2, you will normally or naturally run into up to 4 Olympians, which you could, kind of same way, influencing with your keepsakes. Now it's more natural that you can do so. You are now likely to find one more boon or other major reward while in Erebus. I know Erebus, sometimes it kind of felt like it was hard to get things going. It felt like the region where you get the least amount of power-ups, so that's cool to see. You'll definitely feel stronger earlier on with this change. Increased invulnerability duration after your Death Defiance effects activate. Improved rewards of Ash and Psyche can now be found in Oceanus and the Rift of Thessaly. Ooh, excuse me. You can now press and hold to harvest repeatedly from crescent pick outcroppings. That's great, so we're not mashing with that crescent pick anymore. We can just hold the button. Tula should now stay closer to you in encounters, especially in the Fields of Morning. This is great because it feels like Tula gets lost whenever you enter the Fields of Morning. She just kind of sits wherever you spawn in and she doesn't follow you, so this is great. I think I like this change a lot. Nemesis no longer offers Death Defiance items if you do not need to refill the effect. I did notice this happening to me a few times. I believe it's happened to me about 3 times so far where I've got full Death Defiance and Nemesis is trying to offer me another one. It's very annoying. You can't pick it up. It doesn't give you an extra, so I wonder if she'll give you something different instead or she'll just say hey and give you nothing. Reduce gold cost of Seleni's boon and Path of Stars in Charon's shop. That's fine. Yeah, I think Seleni's boon is usually the less desired one alongside the Path of Stars, so I think making it cheaper is fine. Minor adjustments to the order in which Olympians may first appear early on. I wonder what this means. I wish this could be more specific. Normalized chances of finding fishing points in various regions. I use Tula all the time, so fishing points are pretty common for me. So I'm not sure if I'll notice this change or not. Okay, on to the more exciting stuff. Nocturnal arms and abilities. First up, we're going to go over general weapon changes, and then we're going to go into specific aspect changes. So, for the Witch's Staff, the special will knock foes away, but it'll be slightly slower, and the Omega special is faster. So, I'm sure many of you know, Aspect of Momus is currently the most broken aspect in the game. By spamming that special, what they're doing is they're making the special have more knockback. I believe it had none before. It's going to have some knockback now. And it'll come out, the projectiles will fly a little bit slower. So will Momus still be the S tier that it was in patch 1 and patch 0? Or will it be knocked down a peg? I think we need to experiment and time will tell. The Omega Special being faster is cool. Maybe Omega Special will see a little bit more use on some builds. For the Sister Blades, the special will stagger standard foes longer. Attack visual effects will better match the hitbox. Sort of just seems like a quality of life thing here, whereas the Witch's Staff one seems like, oh dang, maybe we made this a little too strong. Umbral Flames. This change is crazy. I thought the Melinoes Umbral Flames were already incredibly strong, but look at what they've done here. Attacks are stronger and faster. Omega attack channels faster and uses less magic. Special gives a speed boost but has reduced damage. Omega Special can be channeled while moving. So your base attack is going to come out way faster, and the Omega attack channels faster and costs less than before. Your attack is incredibly improved here. On the Flames before, the main strategy was to use Melinoes Aspect and spam the special. They nerfed the damage that those specials are doing, but they make you faster and you can channel them while moving now. But they don't want you to just only be using the special, so that's why they buffed the heck out of the attack. So I think we're going to see some more fun and interesting builds on the Flames with this change. This is a great change. I love this. Moonstone Axe rework special provides a lingering barrier. Omega attack channel slightly faster, Omega special channels faster. That's great. So the axe really relies on its Omega moves, I think. The attack will channel faster, that's good. It did take a while to charge up the spin move. Omega special channels faster. I'm a little confused what this means. I'm gonna have to take a look. I'll probably have some footage on screen here to go along with this. Reworked special provides a lingering barrier. So instead of blocking in the front, you just get a little barrier around you. I wonder if it has a set limit of hits it can take, or if it has a set amount of HP it can absorb. Like for example, maybe it can absorb 100 instances of damage, 50 instances of damage. I'm gonna have to take a look at this one. It's very interesting. Interesting change. I'll have to play around with it. I do like the Omegas charging faster there. And last general change is for the Argent Skull. Omega attack channels faster and hits a larger area. That's great. I think the Omega attack was not being used very often, so making it channel faster and hit a bigger area, always good change. Now let's get into the aspect specifics. There are some great changes here as well, at least in my opinion. Aspect specific stuff. We're looking at Cersei, which I previously thought was a garbage aspect. It looks like it might be a pretty good aspect now. So they've changed how Serenity works on Aspect of Cersei. They've adjusted activation and duration of Serenity's effect. Serenity now adds Omega bonus damage that scales with the aspect's rank. So for each rank you throw on Cersei, you're going to get, I believe it's another 20% increase. I think I have my Cersei at rank 3, and it's 80% bonus Omega damage, which is a huge amount. And you only need, I believe it's 15 hits with your attacker special to activate Serenity now, versus the previous 21. So you'll still get the magic regen, and on top of the magic regen, you're also going to get bonus Omega damage. That's your Omega attack, Omega special, and Omega cast. Really strong. I think Cersei's going to see a lot more use, and I can't wait to mess around with it. Now, Aspect of Momus, they've reworked it. Wait, let me read this one, because I didn't pay attention earlier. Reworked, each of your Omega moves automatically fires several times in succession from where you use them. Wait, does this mean it no longer just gives the flat special buff? Each of your Omega moves reworked. That means they've got rid of the previous effect that it had, no longer getting the flat special buff. Each of your Omega moves will automatically fire several times in succession from where you use them. So we're going to have to play around with the new Momus staff. It's not going to be as busted as before. It'll be interesting to use. Can't wait to try it out myself. Sister Blades Artemis. This is... You will block again if the effect recharges while you are channeling. Block now takes priority over dodge and similar effects. So the way I'm interpreting this is previously, while you're charging up that parry, that block effect, while you're charging your Omega attack with Aspect of Artemis, previously there would be issues where things like dodge or negate attacks would not allow the parry to activate. Parry now has more priority, and this aspect will just work a little bit more efficiently as it's meant to. We've got another rework here, like Aspect of Momus. Umbral Flames, the Eos aspect, the one where you used to have to sprint to make the ghost come back to you, has been completely reworked. Omega attack now fires a slow shot that occasionally creates damage blasts and also copies your specials. So I have taken a look at this one. This one is super fun. I can't wait to do some builds with it. When you charge up and channel the Omega attack, unlike the normal flames where you keep channeling the Omega attack as you're holding it, once you get to your Omega, Mel will stop channeling and stop attacking until you let go of the button and shoot out a big ghosty, and that ghosty will slowly creep forward and shoot out blasts around itself. And every time you hit the special button while that Omega ghosty is out on the screen, the ghosty, while shooting out the blast around itself, will also shoot out your specials from itself. So you could be spamming special, 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 and so is the ghost alongside you. This could make for some really fun builds, and I can't wait to see what we all cook up with this new aspect. I think it's going to be way better than before. They've reworked the effect on Mel's Moonstone Axe. It now adds power and max life instead of, I think it was like animation time that you were saving before, like animation recovery, something like that. Base power and max life, that's great. You could probably do some fun tank builds with this one. Thanatos Axe has been reworked. Instead of the crit percent chance, you are faster attack adds critical chance to Omega. Wait, what? What's changed? Instead of building up crit, faster attack. adds critical. So only the Omegas can crit? Am I reading this right? I don't know. We're gonna have to mess around with this one. I think this wording is a little confusing. Medea's skull has been changed. Improve hit detection on foes near impassable obstacles. Seems like a quality of life change, not really a big change. Persephone has been buffed here. You now generate glory much faster, but only by using your Omega cast. Improve control responsiveness during Omega Special. So when you do have that glory charged up and you use that Omega Special, you can control yourself a little better. You can earn glory much faster, but only by... So does this mean your attack and special generate glory normally and the Omega cast generates it faster? Or does that mean you can't generate it all with the attack and special and the Omega cast does generate it super quick? I'm gonna have to play around with this one. I think this one's still gonna be a little wonky, not gonna be an S tier anytime soon. The keepsake's got a minor change. The only keepsake that got changed is Seleni's Moonbeam, which increases the bonus to Path of Stars upgrades. I wish it would make it so you're more likely to see Selene. I don't think it does that currently. We'll see if they change that later. Hey, where did my patch notes go? Lots of changes to the Daedalus Hammers. I don't even want to read all these. I'm going to have the patch notes down in the bottom. We're going to skip over the Daedalus Hammers. They've replaced a few. They've added some new ones. There's a lot of new toys to play with. So be sure to try out some new ones and see what works for you. The Hexes, I'm a little disappointed in what they've done with the Hexes of Selene. There are some okay changes, there are some questionable changes. Let me go over these with you here. Wolf Howl, reduce the magic spend requirement. That's good. I think Wolf Howl needs less magic spent to be able to activate it. That's great. Twilight Curse, greatly reduce magic spend requirement, reduce foes afflicted, and reduce cast time. Is this the morph one where you transform them into a sheep? Greatly reduce the magic spend. That's good. Reduce foes afflicted, so less foes are able to be afflicted by this. That's bad. That's a net nerf. Reduce cast time. That's good. Reduce cast time. That's good. Reducing the amount of foes that are afflicted. If I can only afflict like half the foes in the game with it, I think it's pointless, and I'm never gonna take it. I want to get a hex that I can use against anyone and anything. So I don't know. I don't like this one. This change here. Night Bloom, reduce magic spend requirement, always great. Effect duration, bonus damage, and cast time. Night Bloom, I don't even remember which one that is. I'm gonna be real with you, but this looks like net buffs all around. That's good. Lunar Ray, this is the big beam one, the Kamehameha that takes forever to charge up, and then you sit there and you're vulnerable the whole time you're using it, and it's terrible, and you should never take it. Let's see what they did to change it. Greatly reduced magic spend requirement. Great. Reduced damage. Not great. Why would you nerf it? Reduce cast time. Well, I suppose if it's easier to shoot out and it costs less, so you're gonna spam it more, reducing the damage it does is fine, but I think having a hex where I just sit still and I'm completely vulnerable the whole time I use it, it's still gonna be bad, in my opinion. Moonwater, the best most broken one, has been changed. They've increased the magic spend requirement to heal yourself with Moonwater, and they've reduced the healing. So this is a net nerf for Moonwater all around. Not looking good for the Hexes. I feel like they're all still kind of going to feel a little underwhelming. Last one is Dark Side, the one where you turn invincible for a while. This is one of my favorite ones, even though some people complain about it. Slightly increased magic spend requirement, that is a nerf, and slightly reduced cast time. So it did get a nerf by increasing how much it costs to activate, but it's quicker to get into it. So you lose some, you win some. There are some other small changes, like they've tried to fix some things regarding Kronos. There should be fewer cases where he just feels unfair. I think they're talking about when you only have a small circle to stand on and there's an hourglass also standing on top of it. Other than that, not much for Kronos. Where do my patch notes keep going? They've changed some of Cerberus's attack patterns in Phase 1. Polyphemus's obnoxious mutant sheep are less effective. Thank God, I hate those things. You're gonna find even more driftwood in the Rift of Thessaly, even more than they increased it in the last patch. Do you really need that much? Jesus. Okay. They've also changed how the burning oil slicks work. Between encounters, they will put out the flame, although they can be reignited again when you start another encounter on the same boat. I think this is a great change as well. this is one of the changes I wanted to talk about the most, is a change to the Oath of Unseen, specifically the Vow of Forsaking. If you don't know, this is the vow where any boon you don't pick of the 3 boons that you're offered by a specific god, the 2 boons that you don't pick will be removed from your future boon options. I actually loved this vow because I would use it to eliminate all the kind of boons that I wasn't looking for, to speed up the process of locating the duo or legendary boon that I was looking for that run. So they saw a lot of players doing this, and they kind of removed it. It says no longer helps ensure you quickly get duo and legendary boons. But I'm confused, because if I'm removing boons from my pool and I run into that god again, and the only other thing in their pool could possibly be a duo or a legendary, what will they give me instead? Nothing? Will they not give me a boon? It would only work before because it was the only option the god had left. They had to give you a legendary or a duo because it's the only thing you haven't taken from them yet. So if I just don't get what it does instead. How did they make it no longer help? What did they change? And you're gonna feel this change if you're using the Vow of Forsaking. It's gonna be different from the last patch for sure. We're gonna have to play around with it and see how it feels and what they did different. Other than that, there's a lot of small changes, bug fixes, miscellaneous. There's some more free nose quotes, etc., etc. But one thing a lot of people will notice that I noticed right away, and it's very fun and that I love, is the keepsakes. The keepsakes have art, the weapons have art, Well of Charon offerings have art, and more. I don't know what and more is yet because the patch just dropped and I haven't played that much yet, but I'm very excited to get to see what's what and what's new, what's good, what's the new S tier weapon aspect. Is Moros no longer S tier? We gotta play around to see what's good now. These updates are very exciting. I'm glad that they're keeping them coming it feels like every few weeks, maybe every month or so. I'm glad to see that they're actively listening to the community and updating things. What do you guys think of these changes? Are there any you are excited for, or any you're not excited for? Personally, I hope they keep improving the hexes. Oh my gosh, my patch notes are gone again. Personally, I hope they keep improving the hexes. I think the hexes need a lot of help, and I'm excited to see what they keep doing with the weapons, the aspects and the weapons. But that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. See you all in the next one.